Hi, guys. Welcome back to Bar Exam. It's your girl, Allie Rayner, and I'm here with my amazing Bar Exam crew, Mr. Marcus TV and Mr. Eric G. Say hello, fellas.
Phew.
What up?
I hope everybody had a really great weekend. Welcome back to the show. Now, coming up for the bar, we wanted to switch things up a little bit because a lot happened at the VMAs, and that's what we had to talk about. We had to get down to it. So, coming before the bar this week is the VMAs. Now, first things first, because there's a lot to discuss. I mean, from the performances, from the red carpet to like the surprise the surprise shade at the end of at the end the next day. A lot happened. So let's first start off with the red carpet moments. The most notable that I can remember, I don't know, fellas, if you want to chime in, but for me, it had to be the Sweetie moment. We love our girl Sweetie, right? She decided to, I guess, host the VMAs. She had like a little moment on the red carpet, decided to host with somebody else, and she was like supposed to be reading off the teleprompter, and she kind of messed up, missed her moment. And then when she started reading, you could tell it was probably written for her because it came off like super unnatural. She messed up, she stumbled, and she got through. She powered through, and she finally said it, and she got through it. And at the end, she did her "I know that's right" to try and save it. Guys, did you see that moment? How did you feel about it if you did?
Yeah, man, that teleprompter whooped her ass.
Oh man.
Yeah, it got a little bad there for a minute. She was able to get through it, like you said, but for a minute there, it was looking like her bars were not prepared for the teleprompter. I'll put it to you like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was that was I could tell from that moment, once that kind of kicked off the VMAs, I could kind of tell what type of show we were in for. Just based off of that, I was like, "Oh, okay, all right. This is what we're doing today. Okay,
Well,
let's press on from here."
I thought that they did a really good job. Like that, I was looking at them a little sideways, like, what the fuck is actually going on at the VMAs? But everything else, I think, was well scripted, was well thought out. I don't think her part, like, I don't think that she went over it, like I said, and like actually read it. I think that's a huge like rookie mistake for people when you're reading teleprompter shit. You think, oh, okay, like whatever somebody wrote for me, it's gonna go great. I'll be able to say it on air. And then you get up there and you're like, bitch, I don't sound like that. I don't say that kind of stuff. So she was tripping up on the shit because she's like, first of all, I don't talk like that. So I felt really bad for her. And I think it's just a learning moment for everybody. Marcus, I know you got something to say. How did you feel about it?
Like, so reading out loud can be difficult.
Yeah.
It can bring out the best in you or bring out the worst in you. I mean, that them words across the screen and shit. It's a reason that fucking children's books are read on rap shows. The llama llama, like they like rap llama llama. Like I mean, because it seems simple, but get who? How do you stumble and have difficulty reading words on the screen? But you also see who's coached and who's prepared. It's the same thing with a live performance. Singing live, dancing, and versus having a track playing in the studio. It's different vibe. Live TV can make or break you. And we're in 2023. So when was the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing? What year was that?
Uh,
Wasn't that like 2001?
Yeah, in the 2000s. So we're just now getting back 20 years later to where live TV was then. There was no delays. There was no, it wasn't like live TV is just now getting back.
mhm.
So and we've seen recorded one takes and do this over again. Nah, that reading out loud, you ain't no newscaster, boo boo.
It is
Oh,
not
Oh,
2004.
2004. Okay.
So
Thank you,
yeah,
Shane. Shout outs to our producer
so
Shane
yeah,
for fact
so
checking.
shit, that's fucking 19 years ago.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not easy, like we said. So I think she'll learn. I think other people will too. Like you gotta practice that kind of shit before you just jump up there and try and read it. And then maybe also like who knows? I've had people because I've read teleprompters before because back in college I was on my news station, and I've had people who are like the teleprompter people like fuck up. So it seems like I'm fucking up, but it's like they either like go super fast or they go super duper slow, or they're like on a different subject that I'm not even supposed to be talking about that. And so the person in your ear is like, bitch, what are you talking about? Like, get back onto the subject at hand. So you're like, what the fuck is going on? So I feel bad for her. Maybe, who knows? Who knows what was actually happening on that teleprompter? But anyway, so getting past Sweetie's whole moment, she also came back on the stage later and was like, don't make my moment go viral. Don't make fun of my stutter.
She shouldn't have said anything because that just made it go viral even more.
Even more. And it was like, I don't think anybody thought it was a stutter problem at all. We all knew that you were reading a teleprompter, boo. Like, it had nothing to do with your speech at all. But anyway, talking about red carpet disasters, Suki Hana also had her moment on the red carpet. I
ain't gonna let you call it a disaster, though.
Okay, you're right. It just looks like a disaster, but this is exactly what she wants. Like, she wants chaos. She wants shock and awe. She wanted to become a meme. She went on Twitter and she was asking people like, make me into a meme, like put me on top of the Thanksgiving food so they know that I'm not sharing. She was saying shit like that. My favorite one was when she was they made her Spider-Man. She was going up the some Empire State Building, some shit like that. So I thought it was pretty funny, but it was pretty gross.
Gross?
Yeah, that shit was
gross. Was it gross?
Because that is a nasty carpet. That's a nasty ass. We already know that a whole lot of people already walked on it. You know, like people be thinking it's just the celebrities, but it's like, yeah, and the photographers and the crew and like everybody else who's there helping and shit like that. So that carpet was probably
so you're saying that it was nasty because of the traffic of feet?
Oh yeah, because that carpet was disgusting. Yes.
She ate a nigga's ass.
I think the thing though is like, you know where that booty has been. Like, you hope that it's been in the shower, it's been rub-a-dubbed, it's been cleaned, okay? But you putting your whole body on a carpet in public that's been walked like on for the last few hours. Who knows?
So forget the whole now we eating a nigga ass. Forget that. Now she's disgusted for going on all fours on red carpet.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, first off, I feel like eating somebody's ass is a kink, first of all, okay? I think that we can't kink shame, okay? Some people like
hold on, you said what? We can't what?
We can't kink shame.
What is kink shame?
What you trying to do? You trying to shame somebody who likes getting their ass ate or who likes to eat ass.
First of all, I've never heard of kink shame. You're explaining something to me now.
I am.
I would never kink shame. So now I didn't feel like I didn't offended like the kinkers of the world.
How do you feel? Exactly. You probably have offended somebody. But all I'm saying is her kink, which is eating her nigga's ass, is totally separate from laying down on a nasty ass traffic riddled carpet in a gorgeous dress that's kind of like, you know, it was exposing some skin. So I was like, why are we doing that at all? But what did you feel? You must not have thought it was a problem.
No, first of all, selling coochie is the oldest profession in the world.
Okay.
In the world, like wars have been started over coochie. Like, so she's doing nothing. She's doing it for attention. And I mean, first of all, had she walked on the red carpet, would anybody talk about her dress? Would anybody talk about what she had on? Would you even know she was there? Was anyone checking for her? So it was literally, she made her red carpet moment her moment. How many other people were on the red carpet? The only other red carpet moment we've had was he was left out bad and bougie. What? He was like name the red carpet moments. Name the moments on the red carpet. The red carpet don't have moments. They don't.
Not a lot of times.
Nah.
Not a lot of
So
times.
just
So
the
she
look.
made so
What if
she made the red carpet her own moment on a and actually we'll say that she made the show somewhat of as her talking point with no performance and no nominations.
The most that we ever hear about red carpets is when like people like celebrities link up that like we would normally never see link up together. Like that's the only time we really ever talk about red carpet stuff like that. But yeah, I mean he's absolutely right. Like any other time it's kind of brushed to the side and ignored. But but when stuff like this happens, you can't really ignore it.
Yeah.
You guys make a really good point. I can't lie. She had the "Eating a Nigga's Ass" song that went crazy. She had a Casamigos song that dropped a little while ago too. But I guess neither one of them, are gonna get featured at the VMAs. So she had to make her moment however she could, and that's how she decided to. I still think that shit is crazy, but you're right. She took her moment. She saw like shit. I might as well do something. That was her something. So, and honestly, that's just Sukihana antics. So, that's not going to be the last thing crazy ass shit
No,
she does.
I don't think that's the last.
Not at all.
No, not at all. Okay,
and let's be honest, too, that was real for her. That was real mid. That wasn't.
Yeah.
I think because she knew like where she was at, so she was like, let me not do something that gets me banned, right? Which makes sense. So
yeah, because she got kicked out.
Yeah, like exactly. She still wanted to go to the show, so she was like, let me do something that's wild for the internet, but I'm then gonna get the fuck up, dust up all this shit up off my dress, and go watch the show. Which, yeah, okay.
Yeah, staff could have easily said, "Nah, we don't." After that, we don't. We're good. But no, they let her right in. So yeah, whatever.
I mean, as long as she's probably not like hurting nobody or like butt ass naked or something, exposing herself. I guess they probably just didn't give a damn.
As long as it wasn't fucking Lizzo.
You know what? Don't do that. Don't do her like that. Don't do my girl.
All right,
because
move on.
if you don't let Suki do it, let the big girls do it, okay? And the extra skinny girls. Shit. Ain't nobody shaming over here.
I felt like I triggered you.
I was thinking the same thing, Marcus, but I digress.
I am triggered, damn it. Nobody.
But I digress.
Because then I was like, wait, I'm going hard for the big girls, but I'm pretty tiny. So you know what?
So you want to have your red carpet moment?
Yeah.
Let's have a petite moment. Anyway, about moments. Let's talk about Doja Cat's performance, her moment of the night. She decided to perform. She did, I believe she did Attention, and then she did Devils for her songs, for the performances. And honestly, I thought that shit was fire. I thought it was dope that she did the same, like she had her twins or whatever. She had like all these little lookalikes in the outfit that she had for the Attention video. I thought that shit was dope. I thought that it was cool that they like followed her around and like when she was rapping, it was kind of like, I think that she's trying to say something deeper here. And for a lot of people, they're thinking it's something demonic and something to be afraid of. I don't think that's necessarily it, but I want to see what you guys thought of her performance. What did you guys think? I know a lot of people felt some way about
it.
The
gave
song.
me Lil Nas. Remember when Lil Nas X did the same shit with the shoes and the demons and shit? It wasn't that deep, but it was of that esque, and it was. I could tell you're trying. I don't want to say doing too much. I could tell you're trying to do something. Like somebody came to you with this and like, don't have a regular performance. Let's go and do this. And every time it was pushed, like not outside of the box, but I felt like it went up into the line for her. She didn't cross the line, but she definitely stood on the toe of it, like her foot was in tennis and some shit. Like, she was. I'm not gonna cross over, but I'm gonna get as close to this bitch as I possibly can.
Do
And
you
and I
think?
also don't feel like it was authentic to her image. I think like she's like I said, she's trying to push the envelope. She was trying to have a Suki moment. The same thing, like we just said, make the red carpet about you, and where you're not even well, make your performance stand out when you're on this A-list celebrity performance and 50 hip hop and other people don't talk about, make your performance stand out and not blend in.
Right. And honestly, I think that's what she's trying to do with her music. I think that is the thing that people are kind of forgetting or not realizing, not even forgetting, just they're not realizing, it's not clicking. And I watched this video that she had shared of somebody breaking down some of her most recent music videos where she explained, or where he explains, the person who's breaking it down, that he thinks that her motivation is that she's basically saying that she doesn't want to be this cookie cutter version of what people wanted her to be. She had to do it to be successful. She had to do it to get on. But then she felt as after she had the obligation of giving the record labels and the masses, her fans, those type of albums, she decided she wants to go back to experimenting and doing music that she wants to make and not something that she thinks is just going to be like a radio hit or a club banger.
Do that shit first. Do that shit first. Be
Do what?
be your authentic artist first. No, I hate when artists like, oh no, that was just what I had to do. This is my true self. No, be that shit what we fell in love with first. Be who you was first. And then if that's what makes you successful, then you deserve this stardom, this thing called, fame, everything that goes along with it. But don't fake it till you make it.
I think it's so easy to say though, because before I used to be a big Doja Cat fan before she ever even had like the what was it, like the Pink album, and then before she dropped like all that like pop, sugary pop kind of shit. She also had this album called Amala, and which I think is actually her real name, and it was her way more leaning into like this R&B vibe. She was way more experimental and different and kind of alternative. And it was dope, but it was a little bit more underground. And I listened to that album for years, and then I don't think that she actually became mainstream. She didn't become poppin' or successful as what people would think, until she dropped the pop kind of sugary, cute stuff. And then it just kept selling and selling. And then I'm sure like her label is gonna give her pressure, like, dude, you gotta keep pushing this kind of shit out. We need you getting awards. That's the kind of stuff that gets you awards. And that's another thing that people don't talk about. Like, she's probably not gonna get an award for Devils, even though it's cool and it's different. I think it could have gotten an award if it had been tweaked a little bit. Like, I kind of saw what she was trying to do with that song, and I like it because it gave me Sheck West. Remember when he did the Mo Mamba song, when it was like he'd be like, what was that part where like everybody would like sing at the same time, and it was like that rocker vibe, like live Sheck West, I die Sheck West,
yeah,
shit like that he would do in his songs. And so I think she was trying to do something like that, and it was like close. It was super close, but it didn't come off, the same. It didn't come all the way, for people. But I thought the performance was good. Personally, I thought it was dope. Like her on the stage and the minions are around, like it's a scene from fucking Carrie or something, or like she's like pulled out of like, she looked like she was out of like a Britney Spears, like music video or something, and all the girls around her from Carrie, and then like the newspapers flying around and it's looking crazy. It's like a tornado around her. I thought that shit was dope. I thought it was cool.
I don't fuck with horror shit.
You don't? You don't even
like that? He's like, keep me out of it.
I love it.
I don't fuck with hordes.
Keep me out of that.
Carrie was crazy ass shit, covered in blood, walking. Nah, fuck that. Nah, fam, keep that shit to.
I'm so surprised, Marcus. I thought you were gonna be a horror film fan, honestly.
Shit, I'm not paying to be scared.
Eric, how did you feel? What did you think?
So you guys actually, I like how you guys broke that down, because you kind of had two different conversations there. So I'll address both. So first with the actual performance. Say what you will about Doja Cat as, a strange enigma of an artist, whatever you want to say about her. You can tell that she puts a lot of time and effort into her performances. And I think this one on the VMAs kind of just showcased that. For me, it was the most creative performance out of everyone the entire night. I agree with what you said, Ali, about like kind of like that like Carrie aesthetic, because I saw that movie, so I know what you're talking about too. But like that aesthetic of how like they were kind of like following around her and stuff. She kind of made it almost look very similar to the music videos that she put out in that respect. So I thought that she kind of brought that to life in the performance in a really smart way. And as far as like what she is symbolizing, as far as talking about now, as far as like showing her true self and all that kind of stuff now, I think that we a lot as just fans of music forget a lot of times that artists go through this literally all the time, where they put out like their what they call their life's work as their first album or whatever, and they get on through that with whatever sound that was at the time for them.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second album and third album comes, and that's when the label and everyone steps in and they're like, all right, we need that radio hit that you had on the first one. How are you going to repeat that? And a lot of artists get stuck because, again, they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making that first project. So to try to turn right back around and have them be like, all right, make another one, like that's a lot of artists can't do that. This is why the sophomore slump exists, because all these artists spend all this time creating that first body of work that was so good, and for to have them try to turn around and do that same exact thing again, to have that same passion that they had for the first one, it's not very easy to replicate from what we've seen. So I think we as fans can forget that a lot of times, that artists can lose passion when they're in the industry. They can get pushed to do certain things that might not even be in their comfort zone. And then when they get to that level of success that, is deemed, I guess you could say, worthy enough for them, then that's when we start getting the quote unquote real them again. That's when, oh, I want the old Drake, I want the old Nas, I want the old this, old that. It's like, well, and then that's when you hear them say, well, listen to my old shit if you want to hear that. But then as these people evolve, then they're able to create shit that merges these worlds together, that merges the world of, okay, you want me to do this pop sound? Well, cool, but I'm going to do it my way and make it in a way that would benefit me and my listeners. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we can get lost in that a lot of times and forget that. I do agree that I don't think that artists should get lost in that, because then that's how we end up getting a lot of like this like artificial sound and like material from them that doesn't really mean anything. I think when they stick it out and showcase that they can make it through that rough storm and then come out on the other side and we get that realer music from them, I think it's a lot better for them in the long run. That's just my take on it, though.
Yeah, no, I think you said it perfectly, Eric. Honestly, like, couldn't have said it better. I think that people don't realize that maybe, yeah, she's having that moment where she's deciding, I'm breaking free of what the label wants me to do. She had that moment where she shaved her head, her eyebrows, everything. People see those kind of things and they're like, oh, she's freaking out, she's losing her mind. But honestly, a lot of people will shave their head and do that kind of stuff because they're trying to like release the baggage, release the old them, their old perspectives and all that, and their mindsets, all that kind of stuff. So I think that that's exactly what she's going through. What Eric was saying is that she's doing something different. She feels like she's being more real, more herself. Some people don't like it. And she's actually saying to people, like, if you don't like it, that's totally fine. Like, she told people, like, unfollow me, like, don't be my fan, because she wants people who are truly there, not for like the viral moments, the pop sugar sound. She wants people there who like actually give a fuck about her music, her art, what she's thinking, that kind of stuff. So I think that she did a good job about making that moment about her. And even though she freaked people out, I think that's exactly what she was trying to do, just like Suki in a way. So it all ties in some way, somehow. Anyway, so let's leave Doja Cat alone. She had a great performance. We all, can say that it was crazy, but it was interesting for sure. Now, getting moving gears a little bit, we got to talk about the 50 years of hip hop reunion or tribute that happened. It had freaking Grandmaster Flash, Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, DMC, LL Cool J, Nicki came out, Wayne came out. Like, I got hype as hell for that because that was just so much fun seeing all the old school dudes come out there. I was sorry that Rev Run wasn't there though. I can't lie. I was like, where the fuck is Rev Run? Like only DMC came out. But I thought it was really dope seeing LL Cool J come out. All that Slick Rick came out. It was dope. What did y'all think? Because I was having a moment. I was having a moment at home. I just rewatched it before the show and everything, and I was getting hyped.
This was one of the better ones, of the better performances, because we've had a lot this year now.
Yeah.
And I think that this was definitely one of the better ones. You can tell that they put a lot of time into deciding like who was going to be there. You could also tell that, like you said, like there were some people that were omitted, but I think they did a pretty good job with everyone that did show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it's hard to pull those names together and not have a good performance. But also, like, you can tell that they're not just throwing anybody together for whoever is going to come out for the 50 performances. Like, they're actually really trying to think about who makes the most sense. So
yes. I think this one.
Yeah, I think with that it made it great.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. I think this lineup made more sense than some of the other ones that we've seen before, where it was like, yeah, like you were there, but like you were kind of like grandfathered in. You know what I mean? Like you weren't a superstar. And these had more, that superstar quality. I did not expect Wayne to pop out for it. I was hyped for it. Nicki popped out for it. I was surprised Kim didn't pop up though. The entire show at all. So
I feel like we gotta also talk about a lot of these motherfuckers is old.
Yeah.
Real shit. And if you ain't performing in 2023, it's different than performing in 1993. And if there is no more, cover it up with makeup, type of, you're gonna be seen in 4K. And if you can't perform, you can't perform, which is okay because motherfuckers get old and can't do shit no more. That's okay. So you said where was Rev Run? I don't know if Rev Run can perform. When was the last time you saw him perform?
I mean, he don't have to like dance.
That is a good point.
When was the last stage presence? I mean, now we went and saw Versus, during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you saw niggas getting winded on live streams.
That is true.
Whole shirt looked like P90X and shit. And these niggas were forgetting bars and cues, trying to yell at the crowd. Y'all show me some motherfucking energy, nigga. like, come on, man. Like you
get some energy, nigga.
Yeah, like you, and that's the last. Like, this is, God forbid, the last thing you want to have on stage. To quote someone near and dear to me, you never want to have a medical emergency on the 50th hip hop stage.
Oh, you right.
You don't want to have them cut, and then some niggas rushing out with a cot. And do it for what, and I ain't gonna say just whatever the emergency was. It could be from pulling something you didn't know you still had, all the way to a fucking asthma attack.
Nah, you're right, and you know why? Because even if it's something serious and life-threatening, even if people are like, oh shit for a minute, the second that you're better, everyone's gonna make fun of you.
Right.
You're getting clowned you're forever getting clowned for that.
Yeah.
Because it's hip hop, and that's what we would do. We would do some shit like that. As soon as you're better, oh, you all right? Ah, silly ass nigga fell on stage. Like that's what would happen. That is exactly how that would go
Dude,
down.
what is it about the Black culture? Like, I swear to God, that is so. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, yo, I'd be afraid to be around my Black friends. I'd be I'd be ready. Like, they one thing, but around your white friends, you don't even care because they're not about to say nothing. Yeah, you're right. You gotta be ready. But
For
I thought
sure.
overall, I thought the performance was really good. I thought they looked great up there. They tried, even though they're getting a little bit older. I think that they killed it. And then honestly, it wasn't a long set or anything like that. It was pretty quick.
Right.
Next up, though, talking about icons, Diddy also performed. He performed a couple times. He performed I'll Be Missing You. He performed Bad Boys for Life. And then he also got the Icon Award as well. He received it. And there is his kids. They were also performing with him as well. And then they also went up there to help him receive his award. How did you guys feel about that moment?
Diddy knew what he was doing this whole week. This is King press run at its finest. Because Diddy's new album, the Love album, also dropped last week. So if you saw in that picture that was displayed of Diddy while he was receiving that reward, his kids were also holding up pictures of the album cover. Yeah, wearing all red. The album cover is all red. His kids are wearing all red. Best press run of the entire week goes to Diddy. He knew exactly what he was doing. But as far as him winning the award, I mean, Diddy. This is like another just mantle or award that he can put on his mantle of other lifetime achievement awards that he should probably have already. Like it's well overdue. The fact that he doesn't have some of these already. It's Diddy. I think when we talk about like the moguls that are still very active to this day, I think Diddy is somewhat underappreciated, and moments like these just kind of remind you of how much of a longevity in this game that he really has. So yeah, Diddy absolutely deserves it for sure. And again, great press run, fantastic press run.
Yeah.
Does he? Does Diddy deserve it? I mean, let's. Does Diddy deserve a lifetime achievement award?
Why not?
What? No. Don't say why not. I'm just saying, does he deserve it? Now I understand everything about just giving it to him because of who he is, but does he deserve it? I think that's a whole nother question. I don't, I mean, like if that's the case, if that's the case, does Irv Gotti deserve one? Heard him on Drink Champs recently. You know how he moved through the business recently, did X, Y, and Z. Do others? Does Fat Joe need one?
Well, it's different
With what
though
he
with
did?
that. They don't hop on the record as much, and like he's an artist. Like Eric said, he just dropped an album, so like this is all to push him more as an artist than it is for him to be like a businessman or behind the scenes producer and shit like that. I think he's getting the award though for him being a producer and because like he's been around for so long and because he's an artist. It's like he's like that triple threat kind of a thing. That's what I think he's getting it for. But
okay, I was just being devil's advocate.
I just
bought. I would not put it past anybody to buy that shit.
I'll put it to you like this. I just look at the award show game and I can kind of just read between the lines of things. So, was Diddy going to get this type of award at some point, especially from the VMAs? This is the VMAs we're talking about, not the BET awards. Like, now, he got this award from MTV. So, was he going to get this from them at some point? Yes, he was. Does it make sense that he got it at this timing with a new album coming out that he's been working on for past 3 years? Makes the most.
Okay, so you saying it was?
Know what I'm saying?
It was.
So he was always gonna receive this at some point, but the timing is you couldn't have better timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that you got
So
it, Eric. And remember that thought, because I'm gonna bring that up again later for somebody else who won an award, but we'll get to that in a second.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, but speaking of performances, we also got to talk about Lil Wayne's performance. He performed like I think 2 times. He did one solo where he was talking about his new song Cat Food, and then the other one was with the 50 years of hip hop tribute. That was dope as well. What did you guys think? Clearly Taylor Swift was in the audience and she thought the performances were amazing. She was losing her mind. Were you guys at home doing the same? Marcus, were you?
Hold on, was I doing the same as Taylor Swift?
Yeah, were you doing those moves that she was doing to Amelie? Were you
No,
wrapped
I
up
don't.
in
I
her
don't.
lyrics?
No, you.
You wasn't hitting it like that, bro?
No, the moves that she was doing spoke to something deeper that she was going through. Or I really believe she was under the influence of a substance
Oh.
known as like yeah. Like that's not
I was thinking it was just a little bit of Grey Goose, you know.
no, Grey Goose don't do that to you. Rick James. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. That booger sugar.
Yes,
That
it is.
nose candy.
But
Like
also, Wayne did kill it. It was a good performance. Like we can't.
yeah. See, I mean, she and this is it, man. Because the way she was moving, you there's the show. You ever saw the show called Euphoria?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was moving like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play the intro to Euphoria and insert Taylor Swift, and then now all of a sudden season 3 lit.
Right.
Taylor Swift's on Euphoria? Oh my god! Yeah, like nah, bro. That was.
Oh man.
But how did you feel about Wayne's performance, though?
Wayne's performance was good, but you know, if you look at the bottom of the screen, it wasn't better than what he did at Colorado, walking out of the tunnel. So you know, I'm just gonna say that. You know,
yeah, that Colorado performance was good too.
Wayne's performance at the VMA was good, but that Colorado walking out of the tunnel performance, even better.
Really?
It was.
I gotta go back and watch that on YouTube. I'm sure it's up there somewhere. Shout out to Coach Prime anyway. He won that game, right? So it must have worked. It must have helped having Wayne on your side. But I thought what was interesting was his performance of Cat Food, that new song that he just dropped. I guess he's also probably going to be dropping an album soon, if he hasn't already. I don't think I've heard anything about the full album being already dropped, but I think it's like in the works, and Cat Food is on it. I thought it was different. I didn't expect him to perform it at the VMAs, but I'm glad that he did because I think it's smart. Like, I think he should be out there performing more and pushing himself, you know, to be out in front of the camera, because I feel like Wayne is kind of like been in the shadows lately, you know. So it's great to see him out and about. But Eric, what did you think about his performance and his song Cat Food?
Wayne's in a very interesting place right now, and I'm very interested to see what happens in these next couple of months because, so first things first, performance was good. I do think his new single is an interesting one. I have to listen to it a few more times to see like what I really think about it, like down the line, like if I'm gonna play it in rotation whenever we do receive his new album, whenever that comes, but Wayne, the one thing I can say about Wayne is that he looks like he has not missed a single step of just this thing called rap. Mm-hmm. Like he looks so comfortable in his pocket of what he's doing right now, and that is why I'm so interested to see what is about to happen, because there is two school of thought rumors happening right now. The first one is that you're right, we are getting a new Wayne album soon, and that this is the first single. So I'm interested to see what happens with that, because he's kind of been on another crazy feature run that's just gone kind of low key, that no one's really been screaming about recently, but that's fine because it's Wayne. So, you know, like I think we'll get that noise back whenever the album does drop. But the other thing that I'm interested about is that I heard a story going around that the Drought 3 is alleged coming to streaming services very soon. So I'm wondering if this is kind of coinciding with that, the fact that he performed. Are we getting Drought 3 and a new album? Like, I'm very curious to see what happens, because I listen to Wayne whenever he drops something new at this point, because I ever since he like took that break and came back, like now that he's dropping a little more frequently, now I appreciate it a lot more. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what Wayne does in these next couple of months, for sure.
And I do think Wayne is gonna drop a project soon, only because I think Wayne comes out before the Hot Boy reunion tour. I think his project will already be out and solidified before that tour, before anything with BG gets before all of that happens, and that money. What I think his chapter drops first before that chapter begins. So I do believe that he is coming out sooner than later.
Yeah,
we know we know the Hot Boys is coming out. We without question.
Oh yeah, that's happening. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's happening without question. And Wayne definitely happens before then.
Wow. So it sounds like Wayne's about to do another takeover, and it's just like, is maybe he's doing like a slow, like right now it's like a slow burn right now kind of a thing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, for real, who else can drop in the fourth quarter but Wayne? No one puts out projects in the fourth quarter. No one.
Yeah.
Did you listen to his feature with Nas?
No. Oh, he smoked Nas. Oh my god.
Man.
And y'all know how I feel about Nas, but oh my god.
That's why I didn't listen to it, because I heard that he smoked Nas. I heard that Nas did it, and I couldn't. And when I was going to listen to it, I wasn't in a place where I could like pay attention. It was like it was other things going on, so it was like I haven't listened to it yet. But I cannot believe that he just smoked Nas. I can't go into it thinking that.
And it wasn't a bad Nas verse by any means, but like I don't know why he let Wayne do that to him. I don't understand.
I think sometimes like you just gotta let shit rock, and I think that he wrote this shit up first. Like it's crazy how this is Nas' song, but in the end, people are probably gonna be like, "That's not Wayne's song," just because of how crazy he went. But the song that we're talking about, for everybody that's listening or watching, the song is called "Never Die," featuring by Nas, featuring Lil Wayne. And so basically, Nas opens it up with his verse, and what Eric is that like Nas kind of, it's not that he does bad, don't get us wrong, but he doesn't like go for the jugular. And then like Wayne gets on, and Wayne like doesn't stop the entire time. Like he keeps the same flow, he keeps the same cadence, and he just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And you're like, damn, this nigga hasn't missed a step, like Eric said. So I think that is the Wayne that we've been waiting on. That's the Wayne that I've been waiting on. I think that the song Cat Food that he did is cool for a mixtape, but this is the Wayne that everybody's excited for. And so it was a nice little sneak peek. It was nice seeing them get together too, for real.
Yeah, man, when that lighter flicks, you got to be prepared. You just got to be prepared for what's about to happen. And
no,
Wayne went crazy, dude. He went crazy.
You can't until you listen to it, and then you're like, God damn, like this dude went crazy. I wish I had like the actual lyrics and stuff, but also I want to give Marcus a chance to actually listen to it. So maybe next time we'll come back to it, and we'll talk about it next time we get together. But anyway, let's wrap it up a little bit. We got to talk about Nicki Minaj's performance. She was also the host of the VMAs. She decided to also perform her newest song. What was it? I think the song is called like Last Saw You. And then she also did a little moment. She also rapped Itty Bitty Piggy. And then at the end, she gave us a little, not together though. She did Last Saw You separately. And then at the end of Last Saw You, she decided to give us a little sneak peek of her new project that's dropping. I don't know what the name of the song is, to be honest, but everybody really thought it was a crazy ass moment because they felt as though she was taking shots at Cardi in a song when she was saying, she said something like, "You bitches say you look up to her, but you really look up to me." And everybody felt like maybe she was talking about Cardi. I don't know. What did you
Cardi,
guys?
Meg,
Lotto,
everybody. Like,
Yeah, I think she was shooting at a bunch of people.
Got you.
I
Okay.
don't think it was meant for one person.
Okay. And then that's
she
the thing,
was
is like,
shooting at whoever gonna respond. That's what she was shooting at. Whoever responds to Nikki, yep, you fit. That's what I was aiming at. It was
yeah.
she just let the chopper go, and she don't know if she hit something or not. She just let off 100 shots.
Yeah. I thought that the new song sounded pretty good towards the end. Like, I liked the second verse, like kind of towards the end of the song. I don't know if it's going to be like a banger or anything like that. I think I would have to hear a little bit more. But what did you guys think about it? If you heard a little bit of it.
You know what? This is what I'll say. I like what Nikki's doing right now because I think she kind of has a lane right now to kind of reclaim.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like with Meg and Cardi, and we'll talk about them in a minute, but it kind of feels like with what they're doing at the moment, it kind of feels like Nikki can kind of take back over the queen of really being on top of this rap shit. That's what I think. And I think that the performance is kind of showcasing that she's ready to take that back over. I think that she is also checking the new crop of women that are coming out and kind of setting the table early before any of them get any more popping than they already are, like the Glorillas, the Sexy Reds, like the Ice Spices. Like she's setting the table very early, whether she fucks with them or not. That's what I think is happening. So with that being said, yeah, I think she kind of has a lane to reclaim if she really wants to. If she puts out the type of music that that steers kind of away from the vibe that Meg and Cardi just did with the single that they put out, she might have a case to take that lane back over. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, and that's honestly a fair point. Marcus, how did you feel about it?
I just want Nikki to win. So do whatever you need. At this point, I'm not gonna sit here and second guess and if you know this and you do that. I want Nikki to win. So if Nikki needs a hit, Nikki needs to win. And if this is the avenue that she's gonna do to try to do it, more power to you. I hope it's successful because I want to see. I'm tired of having the Nikki this didn't work debate. Or Nikki should have done this. So if this is what you and your team is settled on, and the lane at what you're going to do to regain footing in the ground that you lost and become a winner, more power to you. I want to see Nikki win. So I hope it works.
Yeah,
I think it can because again, the lane is open. Number one, I think Cardi took too much time off in between her first album and now. I understand, having a family, all that, like building career, all that other stuff. As far as just the skill of rapping, she took too much time off, and now that lane is back wide open. And then with Meg also couldn't really drop music because she was dealing with the Tory shit. So she's just now getting her foot back in the game. So yeah, Nikki can do it. She 100% can do it. It's up to her at this point, but I think she's 100% capable.
Yeah,
it can happen. It can happen.
You spoke to this on like a previous, like some episodes ago, where Cardi doesn't have to put out a project because she can just drop these verses at any time that are just so hot, and it keeps you from looking for a Cardi project. So this is without having a Cardi project. That's why I said I want Nikki to win. So without having a project out, in these, Nikki can win the versus battle. Can Nikki win the project battle? Can Nikki have a project that people are listening to that like I said, I don't want to have the who's doing this, who's doing that. Nikki put out a project that is winning, that I like, that I'm playing, that is no skips. So I want to see Nikki succeed, but I think if Nikki succeeds, it's going to bring out a better Cardi. Because Cardi right now is Cardi's on the throne. Like, why do I need to put out a project for who? Nikki? Nicki ain't did shit. Now let Nicki do some shit. Let Nicki do some shit to like, oh, okay, yeah, let me remind you of why the fuck I'm here. And now you're like, oh, well, shit. Now let me get back on my shit. And now you're just gonna bring out a better Cardi. So, but right now, there's no reason for Cardi to even feel bothered by any.
You're 1,000%. You're 1,000% spot on with everything you just said, because you're right. With everything that Cardi has done up until this point, she doesn't need to do that, because Nicki still kind of has to prove herself in a way, which is messed up because Nicki shouldn't have to prove herself. But
Exactly.
But with the way that things have played out at this point, she kind of does. Now, if and when that happens, that's when you're right. That's when the eyes are going to be back on Cardi, and those feature verses aren't going to mean as much anymore. Now it's going to be like, all right, now where's the sophomore album? So, the timing is interesting because I think that they're both kind of going to drop around the same time. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the other interesting part about this.
It is, and I think that they're both chasing two different things, and I think that's what's causing Cardi B to not drop. When she was going to drop before, she kept saying that she kept rethinking it because she was afraid that people weren't going to like it. They weren't going to get her sound. They weren't going to get where she was coming from. Whereas, like, Nicki Minaj, you can just tell that, like, she definitely takes a lot of time on her stuff, but she's the type that's like, I said some ill shit, I'm gonna fucking put it out. Like, I'm not gonna wait on this bitch for like 2-3 years, Whereas Cardi B is so worried. I feel like she's a little bit more in her head. I think she's chasing something, whereas Nicki's gonna come back and be like, I'm just gonna start a whole new, like, whether you guys are doing this type of flow, whether you guys are doing this type of sound, I'm just gonna do it, and then you guys are gonna follow me. And she's had a lot of success. Even the pop shit, like her doing that song, I was like, kind of weird, but it's classic Nicki. She did a lot of pop stuff before that got her a lot of awards. Super Freaky Girl, gotta mention that she just won Best Hip Hop Song at the VMAs for Super Freaky Girl, which is crazy because we already discussed on here that before it was, the Grammys thought that it was a pop song, and they were like, there's no way. But a lot of people are saying that originally she wasn't even supposed to be on the nominee list for Best Hip Hop Song with Super Freaky Girl. That all of a sudden, I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying that the lineup switched up once it was like revealed that she was going to be the host. The lineup switched up, and all of a sudden she was a part of the nominee list, and she, shocker, or maybe not, she won. So I honestly don't doubt, like, if we're talking that we think that possibly Diddy, it's just this crazy coincidence that he dropped an album and he's winning this award and then he gets this huge platform to promote it. I think Nicki probably pulled the same shit. Like, I'm the queen. You have me as the host. How the fuck am I going to be the host and not win an award? Like, she wasn't. I think
same way Taylor Swift cleaned up the awards too. Oh, you want me to, you want me there? Okay, I'll go to the VMAs, but I'm gonna clean up in all these categories, right?
Right.
Oh, okay, good. All right, yeah, I'll be there front row and center.
No.
Yeah.
What's the name of the award that they give out at the VMAs?
The Moon Man.
That's where Taylor Swift was, on the moon, baby.
Yes. She was out of this world.
Craters and all.
Yeah.
She was having a good time with Ice Spice. I thought it was an interesting seating arrangement because I know she had the song, but I just thought it was so weird to have the two of them next to each other for the award show, like drinking, kikiing, and like you could tell they was talking a whole lot of shit, and that Taylor was telling way too much of her information, doing the fucking most with the dance moves and everything. So I'm sure Ice Spice had a time. I'm sure she couldn't wait to get the hell up out of there. That shit was pretty funny. But yeah, I think Nicki had a great night. I think Cardi B and Megan also had a great night. They decided to perform. They decided to perform their new song Bongos that just dropped. And I thought it was pretty interesting because it was like they utilized every part of the damn arena, the whole place. And I think that it helped the song, because when I first listened to it, I wasn't really sure how I felt about the song. I didn't hit the way that WAP had hit. Especially like the hose in this house, like that. Somehow that beat, that whole song just really worked. With bongos, I felt like it took a few listens to get into it, and I think the performance and the music video helps a lot for people to be like, oh, okay, like this is supposed to feel a little bit more high energy than how it can kind of give off when you first listen to it. How did you guys feel about the bongos performance and Cardi B and Meg up there shaking it? How'd y'all feel?
So you brought up a really good point about Nicki's career trajectory, kind of how she, started off one way, then kind of went pop a little later on, and now we're kind of getting, more of the essence of who Nicki was when she first came out. So kind of the same conversation we were having about, the sophomore slump with artists and everything like that. I think in this instance, it's very interesting to see what's happening because of the type of record that they dropped. So, I think you're right. I think the video and their performance aspect of this record helps it a lot. I think it's very interesting that Cardi decided to go with this record in particular at this time, just because of the current sound that's out right now as far as like female rap is concerned. I think it's interesting that they decided to go with this, even though like the sound is kind of not really that. It's not really like that type of vibe right now. It's a little more turned up. It's a little more ratchet, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's interesting that they decided to go with it. I think part of it was probably because what I said earlier. I think they were probably waiting on a lot of the stuff with Meg and Tory's shit to be over before they released it, because this song sounds like it should have dropped in the middle of the summer, not at the end.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that the timing of it is a little off, just a little bit. Like it'll be interesting to see how much traction it gains, because you're right, it did not hit the same as WAP. Didn't nowhere. I don't think anything Cardi has dropped recently, as far as like a lead single, has hit the same way as like some of her early singles. I won't even talk about Bodak Yellow. I just mean any of the other singles. It doesn't even have to be Bodak Yellow. So again, interesting spot for her to be in as well, because now that she dropped that, now I want to see like what's going to happen next. Are we going to get rushed into album mode, or are we going to get something else before this? So, again, I think the video and performance helps the song a lot, but I think it was a very interesting choice to release it now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go real quick with this. Hollywood is in a writer's strike. The writers are striking. No new content. Production and shows aren't going on as planned, and you literally can see how hard it is to drop new music on fans in this kind of atmosphere. Meaning that there is no hot show to put the bongos on. It can't be on. There is no P Valley where that song is getting played on the intro or something. Like you're seeing that it actually has to go through, and these labels are having to work a record. And that the machine didn't have to do that. Everyone could just, we're gonna put it on this show, let it get some attention, and then then we'll drop this and drop. And right now with that strike going on, you see how hard it is to drop new music, because the fan bases are there, but they're also not checking for it either. So that's how I kind of felt with the bongos. Now the performance, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. The performance was top notch. The lighting was impeccable. Impeccable lighting. The laser show and the cinematography of the camera angles, the production and the staff, and the way the sets move across like effortlessly. Easily the performance of the night. Easily.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Couldn't
agree with you more.
So yeah, on a production standpoint and degree of difficulty, oh wow,
top notch quality.
Top notch quality.
Top notch. I love
Top
it.
notch.
I love it. I feel like we're like at the golf outing and Marcus just is one of the judges at the table. Top marks from Marcus.
Yeah,
Thank
10
you.
out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Thank you so much for your perspective, Marcus. We appreciate that. But I think you're totally right. I think overall the VMAs did a great job. Cardi and Meg's performance was amazing. I think the dancers looked great. I think it brought the vibe up a lot more because some of the performances were a little bit more. At some parts were a little bit more serious, and there was fun. I think it also brought that like Spanish, like not exactly Spanish, but that kind of like fun rhythmic vibe. Whereas like all the other songs were strictly hip hop or strictly pop, you know, and I thought that was pretty dope. There was also we missed it. We have to mention Metro Boomin and Future's performance. I heard that they did a great job as well, and it's nice to see Metro Boomin coming out here performing. Not just because he's a producer, but just because I know that he's been going through like some things with his mom passing away. His mom was unfortunately murdered, and so it's nice to see that he's back out. He's dropping albums. Him and Future have an album. Did it already come out, guys? I can't remember.
No,
Okay.
that not yet, not yet. But that was the one notable thing that I was hoping you touched on that that I took away from that performance. It was great, but the most notable thing for me coming out of that was that Metro and Future are coming back with a new album. And if you know about those two together, then you already know we're going to get some heat. So I'm excited for that, for sure.
Absolutely. Real quick, though, I know we got to wrap it up. Sorry, guys. And this is a really long one. I really appreciate everybody who's watching and listening. We love you guys at home. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. But really quick, we have to mention it. Did anybody see the Offset and basically Nicki Minaj's husband, aka Mr. Ken Petty, their little beef that happened? Apparently, they had a spat. They had some problems. I guess it went back and forth on Twitter or something. I guess I don't know. I don't even know how it really started. It just seemed that like Nicki Minaj's husband Ken felt as though maybe Offset like felt some way towards him, and so like they went outside after the whole show, after his wife wins all of these awards. Him and his homies go to the sidewalk in New York and take this video and talk about like Offset, you know, pull up, like, you know, who are you hiding from? We're looking for you. You got problems with us. All this shit, talking about drop the location and all this stuff. It looked real immature. I mean, for a second I thought they were like 20 something years old if you just listen to the audio, but you got to remember, like, they're grown ass men. Like, he's got a whole family, he's married, he's got a kid. So how did you guys see that online? Did you notice that viral moment?
So I didn't know about it until the Offset Castanet live stream. So that's when I went and backtracked it and found out about it. I didn't know about it in real time.
Yeah. I felt like it was small. Like nobody would have noticed, honestly, if someone hadn't like picked it up on the blogs, because it was some random person's Instagram. But Eric, what did you think? You thought it was corny?
It was corny.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy.
Like...
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was really weird of him, and I was kind of looking like maybe Nicki is like somewhere exhausted from her night. Because I feel like if she was up and around, she would have been like, what the actual fuck are you doing? Like, I feel like they were drinking, being dumb, talking shit.
This also seems like a pattern that not only happens with Nicki's man in particular, but also a pattern that happens kind of to Offset. It always seems like Offset is minding his own business, trying to be with his lady, and then someone comes out the woodwork trying to mess with what they got going on.
Yeah.
It always seems, it never seems like he's the one going out looking for trouble. It always seems like the trouble always goes to his front door more so than anything. Now, we've seen in the past that he doesn't always make the best decisions when trouble does come to his front door. But right. in a lot of cases, we see that he'd really be trying to mind his own business and he'd be trying to stay out the way. So...
Yeah. Who knows what he's doing behind the scenes, though? That's what I kind of wonder. Like, when trouble keeps coming at your door, it's kind of like, is it coming at your door, or are you doing other shit that we don't see? You know, that's like bringing it over to you. So that's what I'm just kind of curious about. Like, maybe they said something, behind, I don't know, they said that backstage like nothing happened, but who knows what really happened. Marcus, did you think anything was really about to pop off? Like, did either one of you think that anything was really gonna pop off?
Yeah,
No.
ain't nobody pop.
No.
That dude can't walk into a school zone. He ain't about to pop off at the VMAs. Come on.
Yeah, like
Fuck, man, nah, bro.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's why he waited. It was perfect.
yeah,
time he waited.
like
for sure.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And this is the shitty part about it. Let's just say it does, right?
That's the thing that I worry about.
If it does pop off, and and let's just say Nikki husband won, right? Hit him, slapped him, did whatever. Had the Nipsey Hustle, slapped him, and get off me, woman. Nikki still doesn't win that way.
Right.
No.
And like I just said, I want Nikki to win. I don't care what she does. I want if he was to do that, Nikki still does not win.
Yeah.
So
and really deeper than that, not only does Nikki not win, it makes everyone look bad because you're doing all that at the VMAs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just one of the places that when like we as Black people, when we get invited to shit like that, like we can't be the ones. I hate to say it like this, but people know what I mean. Make an example out of ourselves. Like
Yeah.
we can't be the ones to do that. We have to, and again, it's unfortunate, but we have to be the ones to hold ourselves to a higher standard so that we don't act like the stereotype that everyone thinks that we are. When you go and do shit like that, that just reiterates that thought in people's heads, which is fucked up, but that's just what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, just don't do that at the VMAs. Like, no.
Right.
Don't do that at any award show, but especially not the VMAs.
Yeah, honestly. And I'm glad that Offset brushed it off. I'm glad that it didn't get bigger than it needed to be. But in general, I think that the night seemed amazing. The performances were dope to see. It was dope seeing that people win awards, whether they were bought or not, who knows? You guys let us know what you think in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching Bar Exam. Remember, like I said earlier, like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to some new followers. Shout out to the old followers. We hope to see you guys again next Monday on the Ethos Media YouTube channel. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.
What's the deal, y'all? Shane G, Ethos Media Network. We're on that road to 600. Make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Leave a comment for us. You know what I mean? Let us know the topics that you want us to discuss on Bar Exam, on OTI Open to Interpretation, and on Politics as Usual, right here, Ethos Media Network. Click that notification bell, too. Make sure you get up to date with that.